G'day, I'm Mark from Self Sufficient Me, and in this video I'm going to give you 10 food crops that you can't usually buy from major supermarkets, but you can grow in your own food garden. Let's get into it. Now it's hot and humid here, as you could see probably with the sweat beading up on my face. Hope that wasn't too close. And we've got a storm coming, so I'm going to make this 10 as quick as I possibly can. First one is yacon, or yacon ground apple. But it's actually a tuber that grows underground from a plant of the daisy family. You've got two parts to the tuber or the rhizome on this plant. You've got this knobbly type section, and that's where new plants come from. And then you've got a completely different tuber, tubers you eat. The tubers can get quite a bit bigger than this. It doesn't have much of a smell, but it's crunchy like an apple, and it's quite sweet. It's like a bit like sugar cane, nice roasted, and very pleasant, good in salads, gives that crunch. I don't see these on the shelf because I don't think they'll last too long. I'm still learning about the plant, but I'm impressed with it. And it's got a way to go for me to understand it fully, but it's going to be a keeper for us. The second plant is this Egyptian spinach. It tastes just like regular spinach, but it grows when normal English spinach can't grow. And in our case, through the hottest, most humid time of the year. So this is a fantastic substitute. Very mild, tastes a bit like lettuce, but yeah, like spinach. I think the reason why you don't see Egyptian spinach in the stores is because the supermarkets always have ready access to regular spinach, and that's what a lot of people prefer to eat. But if you're a home gardener and you're not keen on paying $5 for a small packet of spinach every time you want a little bit of spinach on the plate, well then growing Egyptian spinach is a really great alternative. Look at this cute little fella. This is an Australian native lime. Fair income. It is one of the most incredible native fruits that we've got here in Australia, and now it's gone practically all around the world. I know it's cultivated a lot in America, I think California. She's a very unique fruit that you won't find generally in the supermarket. I think though in the coming years you might start to see a lot more of this lime getting on the shelves. It often is called a finger lime because the fruits are much bigger than this. This is a different variety. It has these smallish round fruits, but the actual other finger limes can be as fat as my finger, hence the name, finger lime. Numero uno. Anyway, let's cut this fella open. You can get lots of different colours. They call it citrus caviar. Isn't that cute? Now watch what happens when I squeeze it. Look at that oozing out. Hey? I don't know if you can tell, but there's little balls, little bits of caviar type bubbles in here. And I'll just have a taste. And I'll see if you can hear it. I know that might sound a bit yucky, but I just wanted to see if you could hear the pop. Because in my head, it's just going pop, pop, pop like Cocoa Pops, only healthier. And it's really nice, good flavour. They use them in cocktails, high fancy restaurants, spread it on oysters and gourmet foods and get all fancy. Number 4 is this big tall sucker here, Jerusalem artichoke. Not only does it look very handsome, it produces a heck of a lot of food from its tubers below. Now I can hear this storm coming. You might be able to see a bit of dark clouds over the top of those daisy-like flowers. It's a very beautiful plant, but I think the reason why you don't find Jerusalem artichoke that much, well, I've never seen it in the supermarket, is for one main factor, and how should I put it delicately? Makes you fart. I think that's the reason why you don't find it on the supermarket shelf, and I think that's a real shame, because the reason why it gives you gas is because it essentially has heaps of fibre in it, which is really good for us. And if you do eat it fairly often, you get better at it. I know some people might not, but most people would get used to it, as I have. Probably another reason why they don't keep it on the supermarket shelf is that the tubers don't tend to last very long either. You have to keep it in the crisper or keep it buried until you use it, and then the tubers stay hard. Number 5 is coloured eggplants, like this purple one here. You know, why do they only have the black ones in supermarkets like this one here? There's plenty of these black eggplants, the bigger ones, and even bigger. The bigger the better, I suppose. They look great on the supermarket shelf, and these taste good too, of course. But there's nothing wrong with these different coloured, like this one's a purple and white. You can get white, you can get yellow, I don't know, maybe polka dots even. So many different varieties, and even skinny ones. I'll show you. You do sometimes see these finger ones here in the supermarket, but again, that's probably the most novel they'd get. Just because you can't get them at the supermarket, you can still grow them at home. Number 6 is Tamarillo. This is actually related to the tomato. Probably shouldn't do that. Very much like a large tomato leaf, because they're from the same family. You do see these occasionally on the supermarket shelf. I'll just pick one off. This is an orange variety. You typically see the red ones, but they're really exclusive, and you're paying like $1.50 or $2 for one of these, so often a little bit bigger than this. They're fairly versatile wherever you want to plant them, and I really like the fruit. Hear that thunder? Look at that delicious looking thing. Hey? Oh, wow. You can taste a little tomato in it, but it's more fruity than a tomato. It's sweeter. Really delicious. It's like a tomato mango type thing. Or tomato pineapple mango. I haven't seen very many pests, not even birds, touch it. Maybe because of the outside skin and the fruit fly doesn't hit it. So it really is a good fruit to grow. Number 7 is the majestic dragon fruit. This is a red variety. It's not the spiny yellow variety that I also like to grow, which means you can handle them quite easily. Well, there's a little spider on this fella. Move him off. He's protecting the fruit. Come back up on this fella. There you go. Get on there. That's it. Okay. Isn't it gorgeous? Let's cut him open. Now, you do see these on the supermarket shelf, but I can tell you, you're not going to see this one. Look at that. And the reason why you don't see them very often is because they are too expensive to buy. A lot of people just can't be bothered buying them. They're around $5 or $4 at the cheapest each in major supermarkets here around Australia at least. And I hope this doesn't stain my mouth red for the rest of this video. Oh, I just can't. I can't say anymore. I mean, fair dinkum, it's as good as it looks. They are better chilled in the fridge, but look, get into growing these things. Number 8 is bitter gourds. You definitely won't see these on the supermarket shelf, not in Australia anyway, because they are bitter by name and bitter by nature. You've got to go through a bit of a process of salting them to get the bitterness out of them. Some people like them because they're bitter. I personally don't. Hold that up, see if I can get cooked. Okay, yeah, I admit this is a good example of why this type of vegetable isn't on a major supermarket shelf. Look, I'm not even sure if we're going to continue to grow this, because there are other types of vegetables that I can grow on our gourd trellis that, like zucchinis for example, come to mind, that are much more tastier and that we prefer. However, I still recommend people give it a go, because you might just love it. Lots of people around the world do love it, especially in Asian countries. Now the mosquitoes are out. Lightning, mosquitoes, thunder. This is Australia. I didn't plant them, they came up from last season. just from plants that have self-seeded, and you can see how it's taken over that structure. I think that's a reason for giving it a go, because if you do like it, you can grow this thing each season without having to even try. And that's a big bonus, because a lot of the vegetables that we love to eat, also all the insects and animals love to eat it, and also there's lots of diseases that kill those plants before we're able to grow it and eat it. So if you can enjoy a plant like this or a vegetable like this that's really easy to grow, it could be worth your while. And number 9 is Aztec corn. And here comes the rain. Let's get to peeling this thing. I want to show you this Aztec corn. Oh wow. Come on. Look at the colours. Here I come. It's a relay race. Here, take it. We're going to make this video and that's it. Isn't this wonderful? I mean, the rain's beautiful too, but this Aztec corn is another good example of why you don't see it in the major supermarkets. And I think it's a shame, because it really is good to eat, full of fibre, but what we've become accustomed to is regular golden sweet corn because it's tastier. Let's face it, we all like a good golden cob of corn. It really does taste better than this. Most modern yellow sweet corn is highly modified from the original plants and won't grow true from collected seeds, whereas Aztec corn has more fibre, is less sugar, and has extra antioxidants, making it a healthier choice. Hand on my heart, does it taste better than sweet corn for me personally? No, of course it doesn't. But look, it still is nice to eat. I still really like it, and plenty of people around the world do too. You can get lots of different colours. I'm sure if you've researched corn a little bit and been into your gardening for a while, your food gardening, you would have heard or seen these novel types of corns with all the different colours, whites, this type of speckled colours, the yellow mixed with the white, the bicolours, the black, even the jet black ones. And I'm also growing a popcorn corn that's a blue or purple type. And number 10 are these cherry guavas here. This is a red variety growing right along our front fence. It's a great hedging plant, but not only that, it grows fruit, and the cutest fruit you'd ever want to know. Cherry or tiny or small guava, or whatever you want to call it. This is a strawberry variety. Look at the colour on it there. I've got you a bit in the shade here, but isn't it nice? Check that. Really sweet. And they're like a gobstopper, except a healthy version. I mean, I suppose if you keep eating them, they'll stop your gob from working. But, you know, they're easy to eat and they are delicious. These aren't the only ones. You can get all different varieties. I've got the strawberry. You can also get a yellow version. Look at the difference in contrast. Sometimes they grow a little bigger. Most of the time, that's the largest they'll get. About the size of a large cherry, I guess. Probably why they call them a cherry guava. I see no reason why they couldn't package these cherry guavas up, except maybe they wouldn't last on the shelf very long. So that's probably why you don't see them in the supermarkets very much. Okay, you got me. I filmed number 10 earlier on. It wasn't in order. Obviously because I didn't want to get caught out in the front yard with this storm on the way. So I filmed that first, knowing full well that I could get caught out, but I didn't. Those were my 10 foods that you won't get at the supermarket, but you can grow at home. And they're just 10 of the current plants that are producing, but we have many others, and there are many more types of food that I personally haven't tried either. that you can grow and you won't readily find them at your local supermarket? Is there something out of my 10 that you always see at your supermarket? Am I wrong? Or can you add to this list? Write your comments down below. I'd be really interested to read them. I always learn from the comment section, and you will too if you browse through it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up that you couldn't buy at the supermarket. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye for now. Made it. Yeah.